There's a journey that the landscape has taken to create the landscape you see today. And in that landscape you can see patterns and rhythms, and it's a little bit like the river speaks a language, and when you learn the language it kind of talks to you as an old friend who can understand. It's almost a myth that's true that if you hold a piece of gold in your palm of your hand and the sun shines on that piece of gold, then there's a high chance you're going to catch gold fever. I saw it in my father and I felt it within myself, and it drove not only the choice of my materials but my entire childhood and academic background. When I was just a boy, my father and I were driving over the Kildornan Bridge in Scotland. We glanced up the river and there was a classic old timer with a Stetson hat hunched over a gold pan. He told my dad that he was a gold prospector. He just put the camper van into park and spent the next 2 weeks learning the skills of prospecting. And then from that day forward, it just completely changed his life and my life. Together we grew and found a love for nature and being outside and rivers and freedom and gold. It's the process of searching for, that little bit of magic that might just appear at the bottom of the gold pan after some hard work, and it just feels honest and true, and if it's done right, it's done in a way which doesn't damage nature. One of the things I love about the process of making the rings is that when I make a pair of wedding rings, they're both made from the same molten bead of gold, and because of that, I'm a little bit of a sucker for the romance that the rings are chemically inseparable, and to me that's this small, beautiful reflection of two people coming together in the act of marriage, and I've always loved that, and it's just such a beautiful concept. I think the journey to creating Jacqueline Edward started when I was working as a consultant, but I didn't feel that the actions I were taking were having a significant enough impact on the world. The earth has limited resources, and I think it's also a straightforward observation that people waste and materials are wasted. And I think that there's a place for businesses to exist which change the direction of waste. You can work in a way which is sustainable and therefore doesn't contribute to the problem but provides a small part of the answer. It began with a love of bringing natural gold into jewellery. The materials I wanted to use were those which didn't cause too much harm to the world around me, and that people could own meaningful and interesting and beautiful things that had stories without compromising nature, and instead they could feel proud that what they were is, not only not doing damage, but in many ways doing some good. We named the company Jacqueline Edward because Edward is my father's name, and it's a way for him to live on in my actions, and Jacqueline is my wife, who is both the driving force of the company and the woman I love. What inspires me is creating something that eventually goes beyond an artisan project and into a world where I can look back and feel I've had more of a positive influence in the world than a negative one. I don't know, I imagine bigger projects which are still yet to be put on paper that I can look back on with some pride. I think that's where it is for me.